Welcome to the Celebrity Energy Podcast. I'm your host, Jess from uplevelwithjess.com, and I'm here to share with you all of my secrets on how to stand out, become a magnet to your success, and step into your unique celebrity energy. I'm letting loose on everything you need to access what I call celebrity energy, so you're attracting a life and career that helps not only you, but the masses. I truly believe that if more good people had a bigger platform to share their unique truth, the world would be a much better place, which is why I've made it my mission to teach as many artists, influencers, and creatives as possible how to become famous. So, if you're ready to leave your mark on this world and make a massive impact, or if you're simply ready to join a community of like-minded creatives, then this is for you. Don't forget to subscribe and join me on a journey to help you step into your unique celebrity energy. Welcome back, everyone, to the Celebrity Energy Podcast. I'm your host, Jess, and in today's episode, we're talking all about why you get to tell strangers that you're already famous and successful. I'm going to be diving deep into my embodiment process, basically, and what this really means and how you can use it right now so that you are attracting more success, more opportunities, more of this recognition into your life. So this is a great episode, honestly, guys. Like, I went on a massive riff with this one because it's one of my favorite things to talk about. It's one of my favorite things to teach my clients. And you're getting the full deep dive today. But first of all, let's do some life updates. Okay, guys, I'm not going to lie. My brain has been on overload this week because I have basically been sitting down and going through and kind of like in a big inspiration process, but also kind of a big refocusing phase where I've been thinking about different business ideas. For those of you that know me, you know that I'm a very entrepreneurial person. I did actually own another business before my coaching business came about. I owned an agency before that. So like I've kind of always had this entrepreneurial spirit. Like I've always known that I cannot be employed by another person. So basically, I have been sitting down thinking about some other ideas and actually some really big ideas, more like grown-up things. And so this is what my week has really been taken up with. It's been me literally like my brain has just been on overload. I've been trying to go on lots of walks and go to the gym just to clear my brain. But when I get into this space as well, I'm like, it's like I've fallen off the face of the earth. I'm in it and I forget everything else that's going on around me. That's when I know that I'm like in full on creation mode, but it can also be exhausting. I'm not going to lie. Like I have been drained from this. It's all good things. Some really exciting things are coming about. And obviously, if you want to keep up to date with everything, make sure you go and follow me over at Up Level with Jess. I share lots of behind the scenes things there. And I was actually about to release something brand new, which weirdly, like I recorded this episode and I was like, okay, this will be my sponsor for this episode. But because of my like literally going off on this tangent this week with business ideas, I'm choosing not to launch it this week now. So yeah, like that doesn't really explain much. But basically, all you guys need to know is that my life updates for this week is that I have some exciting things underway. And like I said, very grown up, very sophisticated, very adult, and I know that these things are the right direction, the right step, and also things that are gonna absolutely blow up. Okay, my sponsor for this week then is actually my high-level one-on-one mentorship. So this is private coaching with me. This is like the closest proximity ever that you can get to me, my coaching. This is where I'm going to work through your business, your personal brand. I'm going to help you work through the mindset around that so that you are getting noticed as an artist, as an influencer, and as a creative entrepreneur. So if you guys know that you want to up-level your business, if you guys know that you want to go in on building that personal brand, on really excelling in the area in your career and your business right now, then this is the best way to work with me. This is either over a 3-month period or a 6-month period that you can work with me. So depending on your needs, depending on what we want, it's a completely tailored service. So if you know that you want to get in my energy on a very up close and personal level, I have 2 spots available. I've already got a couple of girls booked on to discovery calls with me to discuss this. So if you know that you want to go in this process with your business, then click the link in my show notes. You can book a discovery call with me so that we can chat through it. And if it's something you want to do, then we can get started right away. So I look forward to hearing from you guys that want to snag those 2 spots. Once they're gone, they're gone. And let's dive into today's episode. Okay, let's talk about why you get to be telling strangers that you're already famous and successful. And I specifically mean strangers, guys, and there's a reason for this. So this is something that I teach so much to all of my clients. It's a massive topic that appears inside my academy, my Mindset Miracles and Manifestation Academy. And it's honestly a game changer for you if you want to completely change your identity and what people call quantum leap, which basically just means that you leap to another reality, you leap to another version of yourself pretty much instantly. And this is obviously what we're all wanting, right? We want to be seen, we want to be noticed, we want to be successful, we want to make our money, we want to just up-level our lives and our personal brands and our businesses and just everything, okay? We want to create it all. And this process of telling strangers that you are already all of that is going to change your life. And it's changed my life and it continues to change my life. So this is a topic that I clearly love to talk about. So why do we get to tell strangers that we are already famous and successful? And by the way, guys, you can use this for manifesting any kind of goal into your life, right? It doesn't have to just be, creating that fame and that recognition and that success as artists and influencers and creative entrepreneurs. Obviously, that's what a lot of you guys listening in are. But this is like in general to anybody. Let's say you've got a fitness goal. Let's say, you want to tone up in the gym or look really good for summer, like get that hot summer body, I don't know. Or let's say you're going through a dating experience and you want to learn how to be more feminine, as a woman. Then you can use this technique of telling strangers that it is already happening for you. You can use it for any goal. But we're going to talk about it in specifically to do with, becoming famous and being recognized. And really, we want to tell strangers because at the end of the day, a stranger doesn't know you, okay? That's what makes them a stranger. So whatever you say to somebody that doesn't know you, they are going to take it at face value, right? They're going to look at that and go, okay, well, she must be telling the truth because why would she tell me otherwise, And that's what makes it, this is what really changes the game in this exercise, because there are so many strangers, there are so many people that don't know you, okay? And yes, we're affirming that everybody knows you and that you are recognized, but there are a lot of people that don't know you, okay? Let's say, you're in the supermarket and you're buying your shop for the week. The person serving you may have never met you before, right? Or, you're on a dog walk and you pass someone whilst you're on the walk. These are the people that you get to be talking to about this thing. So they don't know who you are, which means you can legitimately tell them anything, which is what is actually really exciting about this process as well. So if you show up and you start telling people that you are already, let's say, on TV, as an actor, or you're already running a 6-figure business, or you're already, living in, I don't know, where's your dream place that you want to live in, right? Or you're traveling to Europe and doing all of that, let's say, right? And you're telling these people these things. They are taking it at face value. They are believing you. And this is where we start to work with the laws of the universe, okay? I talk a lot about the law of attraction. I talk a lot about the law of vibration. There are lots of different laws of the universe, but really the main message here is that when you can start to learn to work with the laws of the universe, that's when you're going to start to become in control of changing your reality and creating what you want in your life. So this is where we start to work with it, because if you can be speaking and adopting the thoughts, the habits, and the patterns of somebody that is already famous and successful, you will become somebody that is famous and successful. It is as simple as that. Now, this is actually called the law of perpetual transmutation of energy, right? Or as I like to call it, embodiment. Okay, so becoming the version of you that you want to be right now before you're even that version of you. Right? That is essentially what a quantum leap is, okay? And it sounds more confusing as I say it than it actually is. It's very, very simple, okay? So this law of the universe that you get to work with basically just implies that you can change your life by altering the reality that you project. So the reality that you're projecting onto this world. Right? And, you know, like we spoke about last week, we were talking about in the last episode, we were talking about your zone of genius. And when you step into that zone of genius, that's when things really start unfolding for you in your life, because that's a zone that you're projecting onto the world, right? That is your unique blueprint that you're projecting onto the world. And in this law of perpetual transmutation of energy, that's what you're doing. You're projecting, right? This is the embodiment process where you embody the version of you that you want to be before you even are that version of you, right? Before you technically before you technically have all of those things, before you technically have the money in the bank or the fame and recognition or the TV credit, before you have those things, it's about embodying the version of you that does have it before you do, right? And like I said, this is the game changer for really in any manifestation process, but like in general with up-leveling your life, this is the game changer. So you got to think about, okay, right, with this law of the universe of really projecting this energy onto the world, you've really got to first think about what energy are you even projecting onto the world right now? Because like I keep saying, and this is the law of polarity as well, right, guys? I could talk for ages on these laws of the universe, but I don't want to get sidetracked. But like this is the thing, for every positive like energy you're transmuting into the world, there's also negative energy on the other side of that, right? And so you got to ask yourself, what are you actually projecting onto the world right now? And like if you're projecting onto the world that you are a failure, that you, like, let's say, like, somebody asks you, a stranger does ask you, okay, what do you do for a living? And you tell them, oh, well, I'm trying to be an actor. Like, I'm not really doing a lot at the moment, though. Auditions are really hard. I haven't got an agent. It's really difficult. So actually, I work a part-time job in a retail store, and that's really what I do. And if you're telling people that, you're basically just projecting onto this world that you're, first of all, not even an actor. Second of all, you're failing. Third of all, you're frustrated with life and you don't really like what you do. And not only is that stranger going to walk away being like, damn, she was in a very negative energy, you're also projecting that identity into this reality right now. So what we want to be doing is getting used to projecting a new identity, but you have to be so consciously aware of what you're even doing right now, like your current story. And again, all of these topics, guys, right? I'm sharing, like, I'm not gatekeeping anything. Like, I am sharing so much information right now that I dive in so deep into inside my academy. Like, if you, that is the place to be if you really, really want to transform your life. But this is the thing. You've got to get so used to the energy you're already projecting onto the world in order to change this. So if you want to be that famous, recognized, successful, rich person, then this is what you get to project. So rather than telling people that you are really struggling in a part-time job and like things aren't going very well for you right now and it's really, really tough and hard, you can be telling them, oh, actually, I'm on TV right now. And okay, now here's the other thing, guys. This is going to sound like, this is the other thing. Why do we get to tell strangers that we already have these things? Even when in reality, like I'm saying that in inverted commas, that is not what we have right now, okay? Why do we get to tell strangers this? Because a lot of you listening might be like, well, that's just legitimately a lie. And I've spoken about on this podcast before this quality of being delusional when it comes to creating anything, manifesting anything in your life. And this is part of it, okay? Now, my comeback to this, when people tell me, like, why are you essentially telling lies, is that we live in a universe that is it's made up of, like, infinite realities, okay? Infinite realities are playing out for us right now. And, like, this is science-based as well, guys, right? So basically, what's happening is that there are multiple different versions of you in this lifetime. And there is a version of you that does have the fame. There is a version of you that does have that success. There is a version of you that is living in Hollywood, in a mansion, sipping on cocktails every night and just feeling like a bad bitch, right? There is a version of you that is dating the most handsome, amazing, gorgeous man and loving life, right? There is a version of you out there that is doing that right now. And so when I'm telling people in this reality that is what's happening for me right now in this reality, it's not a lie, because it is happening. We just can't see it happening, right? And that's very hard for people to get their heads around, because if they're looking at your life and they're going, yeah, but I see you working in Tesco's, like, you're not on TV, right? Or, like, whatever it is for you, like, or I see you working that part-time job, like, you are definitely not a six-figure entrepreneur. It's very hard for people to fathom because they can't see it, but it's actually playing out in a different reality for you. So this is why we tell strangers, guys, right? Because, like I said at the beginning, people take it at face value. If you tell somebody that you're on TV, they're probably going to respond. If you tell a stranger, they're probably going to respond with, oh, cool, can I watch it? Where is it on? What channel is it on? And that's where you get to be savvy with how the conversation goes. And this is what I teach all of my clients. Like, this is, like, in the way that you lead the conversation, this is what I'm teaching my clients to do. But this is the thing, guys. People won't question it. Strangers won't question it. They will literally be interested. They'll be fascinated. They'll be excited by it. That stranger you're talking to will be projecting an energy straight back onto you that is full of excitement and engagement and fascination and curiosity. And this is the energy that you manifest in, okay? Whereas if you tell a close family member or a close friend or someone that's already in your community that doesn't get this work, that you are all of those things, they will look at you and go, you're crazy. Why are you saying this? Why are you lying to me? And the energy they're projecting onto you is very, very negative. It's a very low frequency. And so you're not going to manifest in that energy, which is why using this technique on strangers is the game changer. Because they are going to, and this is a concept I talk about a lot, collectively manifest it for you. So when we talk about manifesting anything, when the more people that are in that energy, that have the same mentality, that have the same frequency, that have the same trajectory or goals or belief systems, the more people in a space that have that, the more likely it is going to happen, right? So that's why for things in the world that we're taught about in schools, like that are written in textbooks, that are, like, you know, telling us that these are the factual things of the world, that's why it is a fact, right? I could go into so many different versions of what that actually means, health-wise, things that we're told in our health system that are going to kill us, which actually, if we all collectively believed a different thing and had a projected different energy onto the world, these things probably wouldn't kill us. But again, I'm not going to get too political on here because I don't want anybody to come at me. I am just teaching people how to be the best versions of themselves. So anyways, if you are in, like, an environment with a stranger that is totally interested in what you're saying, that is totally buying into, oh my God, wow, she's on TV, or wow, how is she running that business at such a young age and being so successful? This is amazing. And they want to hear more and they're excited by it. You are going to manifest that reality. And this is legitimately how I have created every single kind of success in my life, right? This is how I've been recognized. This is how I got myself on TV with stars, right? With, like, actual well-known famous people. this is how I've achieved that in my life. This is how I have achieved a 6-figure business, a successful business. This is how I've done all of this because I have been so bold in telling strangers that this is just my life, that it has become my life. And by the way, guys, right, let's just talk about the other side of this too. There are a lot of blocks that will get in your way. There are a lot of things that are going to block you on this. There are a lot of things, especially with your ego, that's going to tell you you're a fraud, you're lying to people, you're a fake, stop being so weird, stop being so crazy. Like, you're going to get so many negative patterns creep in, which is why it's always really important to do the mindset work, which is why it's important to get rid of those subconscious blocks first. Because it's very, very difficult you can do this embodiment process without doing the subconscious work first, but it's probably not going to give you the same results, which is why I teach my academy in a very certain way, which is why we run through it in a specific way, so that by the time it gets to embodiment week, all of my clients are literally like, I am creating everything because there's nothing blocking me, there's nothing getting in my way. But when you can come at this embodiment process with no negative patterns, with no negative bias whatsoever, and you can show up and just quite simply have fun with it, that is what is going to change the game for you. And so for me, I've got so many of these stories, guys, I can't even tell you. I'm actually thinking of doing a mini series on this on TikTok. I post a lot of videos on TikTok, by the way, so if you do want to go follow me, it's the same handle everywhere, Up Level with Jess. But I'm thinking of doing a mini series on this because I've literally got so many stories about how I changed my life. And they're fun stories to listen to because they're literally those stories that you're like, oh my God, why are you being that bullshit? How can you be that bold and bullshit and confident? And again, this is part of your celebrity energy. This is why I teach this energy, because this is what's helping you to achieve these things. So I'll just give you one of the examples. I mean, I've already kind of touched upon this example of telling people that you're on TV before you're on TV, if that's what you want to achieve as an actor. I did that literally in the space of 24 hours. My agent called me and told me that I had my first TV role. And there's a whole story on that. But I want to tell you this story about how I embodied making my first 10K month, right? So I first started my business and I wasn't a completely new entrepreneur because I have owned other businesses in the past, but I was entirely new to the coaching space. I knew that I could help people. I set this business up and I was like, right, okay, what are my money goals? And I talk a lot about money manifestation. What are my money goals? And I sat down and I was like, I want to make 10K months. I want to make 10K months. That's what's going to happen, right? And I journaled out over this. I was like, okay, I want to get into the mindset and into the identity of a person who makes 10K months. And so I started to show up as that version of me, right? I started to go to one of the things that I would do regularly. And this, by the way, this is when I was living in a tiny room by myself, and I didn't have very much independence or freedom. And I would go to the most bougie 5-star hotels in Manchester. I would show up to the most bougie places. I would get dressed up. I would do my makeup and my hair, and I would look good when I was doing it because that actually changes that makes me feel good, right? So I would show up in those places. I would get out my laptop. I would get out my notes, and I would start working. And when the servers came over to ask me what I wanted, if I wanted to order anything to the table, I would just ask them for a sparkling water. And I'd get that sparkling water and I would sip on the sparkling water the whole damn time. And I was in these places for hours. And the fact is, I didn't really spend anything. It was like a couple of quid that I spent on this sparkling water. But the whole time I was in this environment that I had embodied as rich, wealthy entrepreneur. And I was doing my work and I was feeling really great in the process. And so I got used to doing this. And now there was one specific moment, and this is where I remember it was the time that I did manifest that 10K month. I basically was like, right, I want to look more deeply into my finances, and I want to start to invest in the right places, because this is what a wealthy entrepreneur would do. And so I walked into a bank. And a lot of the times we don't do that anymore because we just talk to people over the phone, which is still the same energy. But I think when you're in person with someone, it's like, it's even more beneficial. So I walked into this bank and I sat down with a consultant and I said to them, listen, I'm about to come into a lot of money soon. I'm about to start making 10K months. And this is going to be a lot of money coming into my account. And so I want you to tell me the best accounts to open, the best savings accounts to open, the best accounts to open that are going to make me the most interest right now. And this consultant looked at me and they were like, okay, so this money is coming in. Is this like inheritance? What is this? And I literally looked at them dead in the face and I said, no, I've just started a business. And they were like, right. And they looked at me like I was completely crazy. Like I was actually an insane person sitting in front of them. Yet they still helped me. They helped me find the right accounts and I did everything, sorted everything out. And I remember I said thank you to them and they were like, good luck. And I walked out of that bank and within the next 4 weeks, I had made 10K in my business. Now, this story for me sticks with me because this was like at the beginning of my entrepreneurial journey. I don't know, also guys, I don't know how this has turned into such an episode about money, but this is where it's gone. This is like, again, I'm just letting my whatever comes out flow. But this really sticks with me as that first moment on my entrepreneurial journey where I was like, wow, I am way more in control of this than I ever thought. And the fact is that I was in that bank so, like when I was there in that store, I was so embodied of this wealthy entrepreneur. I was acting like her, I was talking like her, I was sitting like her, I was dressed like her. I had got so into the thoughts, the habits, the patterns of that person that's what I became. And that's what a quantum leap is. And so when people look at my life and they go, oh, well, how did you do all of that in such a short space of time? It didn't just happen without me doing anything, right? It didn't just happen for me. Nothing ever happens for you. Like, it happens because you are being intentional about what it is that you want. It happens because you're deciding to show up in this world in a certain way. It happens because you are allowing yourself to go to that place. You're being bold enough and confident enough to show up for yourself in a way that you know that is going to serve you, rather than sitting there in a victim space and projecting onto this world all of the things that are going wrong in your life right now. And that's how people become successful, because they're so intentional about it. And also because they've done all the mindset work so that you don't care if you look like an idiot. You don't care if you seem crazy. And this was like a stranger that I was talking to when I was in the bank, but they still looked at me like I was a little bit crazy with what I was saying, So it's like when you can get so used to showing up in this world in the reality that you want to be in, knowing that reality is already playing out for you somewhere else, that is what is going to change this reality for you right now. Also, I want to add that your community is everything. Like everything. This is why, when I've run my academy live and we've had this group of women inside this academy going through it together, it is like created the most amazing results for people, because when you get to embody this side of you with people that you feel safe with people that get it, that know that, yeah, like we're playing this fun game of embodiment right now, but I'm not going to judge you for it, and I'm going to help you collectively manifest it. When you can be around those people that lift you up in that way, things are going to happen for you at exceptional speeds, right? Things are going to happen for you so quickly. It was one of the biggest things for me on the start of my journey of my mindset and success, was finding a community that could do that for me. Which is why actually I'm just so excited about bringing out what I'm bringing out this week for you guys. Okay, so your homework for this week, guys. Because we've already established the main message here is that you get to tell strangers that you already have everything that you want. Because the more you do that, the more you adapt those thoughts, those patterns, those habits, the more you become that person. So your homework for this week is to go out and do that. go and start telling some strangers about your amazing life, your amazing reality, and start like really feel into the energy of excitement that they bring to the table too. Some of them might not be. Some of them might be like, oh, okay, cool, whatever, and might not want to continue the conversation. But the majority of the people, the majority of strangers that you tell, oh yeah, I'm on TV, or I'll be on a new Netflix series soon, can't tell you much more about it. Like, the amount of people that I talk to when I say when I say these things, they're literally like, oh my God, am I talking to someone famous? And I'll be like, yeah. And that's as simple as it is. So really go out and do that this week and have fun with doing it. I want to hear all of your embodiment stories. This is the new thing for me. I want to hear more about when you guys do this homework, all of you listeners, or even you guys that are new to this podcast, that maybe this is the first episode you're listening to. I still want to hear from you. Come and connect with me over on Instagram at Up Level with Jess, or inside my new community, which you can get in now. So go to the show notes, go and get inside. I want to hear some of these stories, because I also might start doing something where I can start telling in new podcast episodes, or do some series where I can start telling other people's stories, or answering people's questions, doing things like that, which are all going to be themes that will happen inside my new community. But I basically would like to give people shout outs. I would like to start recognizing more of my own community, recognizing more of you guys who listen in. I want to project you guys onto my podcast too. I want to share with the world who you are. So these will be more themes that we'll talk about inside my community. But yeah, let me know. So if you guys have loved this episode, if it's resonated with you in any way, take a little screenshot, share it on your Instagram stories. It honestly, it helps me, because it reaches more people and helps me bring you more of this content. It's all great. I love it. I love you guys. So let me know. And other than that, get yourselves over to my new community. Get yourself into the membership. Can't wait to get inside there with you all. You can just click the link in my show notes, and I will chat to you guys next week. Lots of love. Thanks for tuning in, guys. If this episode resonated with you, share it with a friend who you think would love it too. And if you want to let me know how you found it, just screenshot this episode, add it to your Instagram story, and tag me at Up Level with Jess, so I can throw all the love right back at you. And of course, subscribe, hit those 5 stars, and leave a review to show your support and to keep the good stuff coming. Sending you so much love from your girl Jess.